Hi everyone, Janie Bennett here from Gem Auras. Welcome to our channel. This is the channel that talks about crystal healing, angel therapy, the law of attraction and vibrational living. But have you ever wondered what is an affirmation? Have you ever wondered how to use affirmations? Well, if you have, you're in the right place. This video is going to give you my top 5 tips on how to use affirmations, what they are, and how to stick to them. So what is an affirmation? Well, an affirmation really is a thought that we keep thinking. The idea is that we want to make new beliefs. We want to use our conscious mind to then think a thought so much repeatedly that it just becomes second nature to us. And it then gets stored in our subconscious. Have you ever wondered why you can't keep a New Year's resolution? You try as hard as you can, but it just does not happen. You seem to slip back into your own way of being. Well, it's not necessarily your fault. You probably think, well, thank goodness for that. What's happening is you have become used to listening to your subconscious, but not consciously. It's just happening. So this is what we want to do. We need to almost like wipe the slate clean, and we can do that with affirmations as long as we follow the simple 5 rules of using affirmations. We want to make sure that we are using words that we are going to use on a subconscious level, which are then going to become part of our daily lives, and we're going to enjoy the positive rewards we're going to get from that. So the first thing that I want to tell you to do with affirmations is to go as broad as you possibly can. Now, what do I mean by that? What I mean is don't be too specific with what you would like to achieve. Let's say, for example, you'd like to get healthier or lose some weight. So your affirmation could be, I am now 80 kilos. I'm going to be 70 kilos. Okay, going to be kind of puts it out into the future. You could affirm and say, I am 70 kilos. Ooh, most people say, ew, well, I'm not. That's kind of telling a lie. That's telling a porcupine. I can't say that. You want to be 70 kilos, but you don't feel right sitting here 2 days saying that. But what you could say, what a fantastic affirmation to use in that scenario would be something like, you know, I have been 70 kilos in the past and I'm going to be that again soon. See how different that feels? That feels achievable, it feels believable, and it feels positive. Or you could say something like, you know, every day, in every way, I am just going to feel better and better and better. Again, you're not being too specific. You're not saying how many kilos you're going to lose. You're not going to affirm anything like that. You're going to use a broader statement, which is fantastic to use with affirmations when you get started. So be broad. The second thing is to make sure that you are using your own words. Look, there are so many affirmations out there on the internet these days that other people have written, but it's always best to use your own words because they are coming from you. And that takes me on to the next point. Make sure that you can, if you feel like you can, say them out loud. Use your own voice. Get your own voice behind them, because when your mind and your body hear your own voice saying your own words, it's going to pay attention a lot better. So use your own words and then say them out loud. Third point, repetition, repetition, repetition. You really do need to repeat them as often as you possibly can. What I like to do is to actually write mine down on a piece of paper once I've decided what I'm going to be saying. Write them down on a piece of paper and then practice saying them out loud. And here's another thing. Make sure they're not too long, so you just switch off halfway through. Keep them quite short and concise in your words, write them down, and then maybe read them in the morning, read them last thing at night before you go to sleep. But throughout the day, repeat, 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 and repeat. Maybe you can add them to certain other tasks that you do throughout the day. For example, if you are washing up after lunch, after dinner, maybe after breakfast, you're clearing your pots and your dishes in the sink, maybe that's the time to affirm. Maybe every time you get into your car, instead of putting the radio on, maybe that's the time that you do your affirmations. Throughout the day, as much as you possibly can, say them over and over and over and over again. So that's our top tip, number 3. Number 4, stay on track. Now, what I mean by that is many times, and I'm sure you've experienced this, you're all gung-ho, you're ready to go, you've got your affirmations, you've been saying them, and you've been doing them really, really well while you've been in your own home, while you haven't been speaking to other people. What happens when you leave the front door? What happens when you go out into the world? What happens when you bump into a friend who then starts to complain about the same thing that you want to move forwards from? What are you going to do then? Now, this is my tip for doing that. You will automatically probably feel yourself getting a little bit heavier. Let's say if your friend starts to talk about weight loss and how she or he, they can't seem to stick to it. This is what you need to do. You need to think to yourself, okay, well, I'm having these thoughts in opposition of what I want. Now's the time for me to reaffirm what I do want right now. And the way that I would do it, the words that I would use with myself are, well, that's how I used to think, but now this is how I think. And it's a great way. It's called pivot thinking, pivoting from this thought back to the thought that you really want. So make sure you are keeping yourself on track and bringing yourself back into line if you do go astray. And don't berate yourself for it. Don't tell yourself off or slap yourself on the wrist and then get into another negative spiral of saying, oh, why can't I stick to this? Don't worry about it. It is an opportunity to make sure you are on track and make sure that you are vibrating at the same level as your affirmation. That takes me on to the next point, emotion. When you're saying your affirmation, we need to have the right emotion attached to it. For example, we can't be saying that, you know, I am starting to feel better, my body's feeling better every day, but inside you're actually feeling a little bit crappy today because the emotion doesn't match the affirmation. They've got to marry perfectly together. Literally, that is like a direct cord, if you like, a direct telephone line to the universe, telling the universe what you want. You need emotion attached to the affirmations. So make sure you have the right emotion. So if you're not feeling right, don't just do them. Don't just do them verbatim, say, oh, I've got to do them repeatedly. There is no point repeating it if you're not feeling it. So that's another tip. Tip number 4, make sure you do attach the right emotion to it. So affirmations, we've already learnt what they are. We know that, of course, we need to keep broad. We know that we need to use our own words. We know that we need to repeat. And we know that we need to attach emotions to them. And now we also know that we need to keep ourselves back on track by reaffirming and allowing those opportunities to remind us that maybe we have just gone off track to get back on track. I really do hope that you're going to put that into practice today and see what happens after 7 days, 14 days, or even 21 days of doing affirmations. See what positivity can come into your life. Now, on that point of 21 days, I really do hope you can join us on our 21 Days to a Happier You challenge. Please check out our other videos in the series, and it'll explain every day, day by day by day. And I really do hope that you enjoyed this video. Please remember to subscribe, and we'll see you again soon.